All right, everyone. Welcome to the next lecture in the uh, Nutrition Foundations section of the Nutrition Lecture Series. Today we are covering our water-soluble vitamins, namely the B12 complex. So what is the vitamin B complex? It's a group of 8 water-soluble vitamins that mainly act as coenzymes for metabolic reactions. Most of them are essential for nervous system function, energy production, red blood cell formation, and neurotransmitter metabolism. Um, Very small amounts of these are stored in your body, so regular intake is important. This also means the risk of toxicity is low, but not impossible. So which ones are these? Like we said, we have 8 of them. You may see they are numbered B1 to B12. However, um, B8, B10, B11, and B4 are technically not vitamins, but that's for another story. So what are they? Vitamin B1, so it's called thiamine. It's good for carbohydrate metabolism and nervous system health. Vitamin B2 is a riboflavin, essential for energy production and antioxidant pathways. Vitamin B3, niacin, is a precursor for NAD production. B5, pantothenic acid, is essential for the formation of coenzyme A as well as different hormones. Vitamin B6, pyridoxine, forms amino acids as well as various neurotransmitters. Then vitamin B7, biotin, important for carbs and fats metabolisms, as well as hair and skin health and nail health. B9, folate, is good for blood cell synthesis and DNA synthesis and is especially important in pregnancy. We'll get to that. Then B12, cobalamin, is good for methylation, nerve health, and red blood cell production. Often these deficiencies cause fatigue, brain fog, and neuropathy. So let's go through the most important ones, one by one. B1, also called thiamine, it plays a crucial role in glucose metabolism, brain ATP production and use, as well as nerve conduction. Deficiency normally comes from malnutrition and, important clinically, alcohol abuse. I'm sure I don't need to tell you how common alcohol consumption is in our modern day society. Especially, I'm sure you know a few people who go overboard. So, alcohol abuse is probably the most common cause of thiamine deficiency. Thiamine deficiency can cause beriberi, which can lead to muscle wasting, polyneuropathy, and eventually can lead to heart failure. And then, especially dangerous is Wernicke's encephalopathy. It's an acute neurological disorder, commonly affecting brain areas involved in balance, eye movement, and memory. Patients with this normally present to emergency rooms with confusion, ophthalmoplegia, memory loss, and ataxia. Um, and if this is a medical emergency, so if you don't deal with it promptly, it can become a chronic impairment, and that is called Korsakoff syndrome. Vitamin B3, niacin, it makes NAD, which is a core energy molecule in the body. Deficiency is caused by malnutrition and poor diet, especially diets that avoid tryptophan containing foods, because tryptophan is a niacin precursor. An example of this are your traditional corn-based diets, such as in Latin America, Central America, those sort of places. Um, it can cause pellagra, which the clinical common triad of pellagra is dermatitis, diarrhea, and dementia. Then vitamin B6, pyridoxine. It has an important role in neurotransmitter production, specifically in serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, as well as hemoglobin synthesis. Deficiency can cause neuropathy, irritability, and seizures. Important to note, excess supplementation can also cause toxicity, leading to neuropathy and seizures as well. Um, in tuberculosis treatment, B6 is an important adjunct because the drugs can cause malabsorption of vitamin B6. Then we get vitamin B9, called folate or folic acid. It has a role in DNA synthesis, cell division, and in pregnancy it's especially important because it enables healthy development of the fetal neural tube. Deficiency in B9 can cause macrocytic anemia as well as elevated homocysteine levels. Then B12, cobalamin, also called hydroxycobalamin, or cyanocobalamin, that's your synthetic form of vitamin B12, and methylcobalamin is the natural form of B12. It has an important role in myelin production for your nerves, for your nerve sheaths, DNA synthesis, and red blood cell production. Deficiency is quite common in vegans, those with pernicious anemia, or people who take metformin chronically. It can cause macrocytic anemia if deficient, as well as neuropathies, memory changes, and glossitis. So, what do? We test and we optimize. Useful blood tests, in addition to the presence of symptoms, include a full blood count or complete blood count, depending on what country you practice in. That typically includes your white cell count, red cell count, your hemoglobin, your mean corpuscular volume, and reticulocytes. Then it's also important your serum B12, your folate, ferritin, iron saturation, homocysteine, and MMA if the lab offers it. The levels help guide supplementation to ensure that toxicity risk is minimized. If you aren't deficient or aren't in a high demand state, most of the time supplementing has little to no benefit besides wasting your money. So what are our typical supplementation approaches? For general support, you can use standard oral B-complex supplements. They're useful for those with non-specific symptoms, vitamin levels a bit on the low side but not really deficient, those doing dietary changes such as trying to lose weight, if you're going through periods of illness, and then if you just have overall not a very varied diet, such as vegans, vegetarians, carnivore diet, things like that. Then, if there is a confirmed deficiency via blood tests, you do targeted vitamin replacement, usually via IV infusions or intramuscular injections. And then, like I said earlier, Wernicke's encephalopathy is a medical emergency, so thiamine is often given to intoxicated individuals in the emergency departments without blood tests, just because the risk of Wernicke's encephalopathy is quite high and it is quite common. So in summary, the common symptoms of deficiency are fatigue, brain fog, paresthesia, general feeling of weakness, pallor, and low mood. Deficiency risks are those with heavy alcohol use, pregnancy and other high demand states, elderly, restrictive diets, and GI diseases. Good food sources of our vitamin Bs are meat, eggs, dairy, and fish for animal sources, then legumes, whole grains, leafy greens, nuts, and seeds for plant sources. Thank you for listening. That is vitamin B.